Alright, hello people from the internet. Hello everyone, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. The time has come for me to make another non-gameplay video. So here I am today, where I'm going to be talking about Beogh. Yep, Beogh the Orc God. And we're going to go in order. Um, so yeah, um, today goes Beogh, and then Cheibriados, and then Dithmenos, etc, etc. Beogh is an evil deity, worshipped by the cave orcs native to the dungeon. Only orcs may devote their service to Beogh, and they must prove their devotion with bloodshed. Especially fervent devotees of Beogh will find orcish followers flocking to their banner. It is an age of signs and portents, and the orcs have become increasingly certain that the coming of their messiah is nigh. Um, so yeah, Beogh is evil. This means this is actually kind of an important thing to note. This means that if you abandon the Shining One, Elivilon, or Zin for Beogh, they're gonna be mad. They're normally not gonna actively try to inflict you with God Wrath if you abandon them for other gods. They only do that if you abandon them for what the game determines as an evil god. In this case, Beogh is an evil god, Kiku, Dith, Jredalemnul, um, Maklev too, because of the demons. And there might be another one that I might be forgetting, but those are the most important evil gods. I'll talk about the gods that are evil whenever I see them, so you will know in time, of course. So yeah, that is the evil part, and then let's talk about the powers. You can smite your foes. This is pretty strong. Um, the game doesn't tell you how it scales, but it scales with a weird mixture of piety, invocations skill, and experience level. So if you have 27 invocations, and you're probably gonna have a lot of piety, 6 pips of piety, by experience level 27, you can expect this to reasonably three-shot a normal fire. It is pretty strong if you train for it. Super powerful ability. It's much more damaging than the smite that the orc priests do because, well, it is pretty much as dangerous as the orc priest smite is to you the first time you see an orc priest, as long as you continue training it, of course. Really good ability, really useful. I think that for anyone that has an intermediate knowledge of the game, you're gonna know how useful it is to have something like this in your repertoire. So yeah, that's a smite. Very straightforward, not much to say about it. Just use it, it's good. It's not even that expensive to use. I generally don't use it that much, but I do remember to use it if I've been training invocations against the really dangerous things like Orbs of Fire or nasty summoners that are hiding in the back row. You can gain Orcish followers. Funnily enough, this is part of the reason why people don't like Beogh. The general consensus seems to be that the micromanagement of orcs can get pretty tiresome. I have to say that I don't think as a big issue. I don't think of it as a big issue, um, which is weird because I don't like allies, but I am okay with Beogh allies because they are kinda disposable, and if they don't just die super fast, they're gonna be tanky enough so that you don't have to babysit them that badly. Sure, you probably have to position yourself in such a way that in bolts, for example, your Orc Knights do not get multi-sapped by Shtawa or whatever with a bolt attack or stuff like that. Maybe I wouldn't take Orcs to bolts, to be completely honest, because of the Frost Hearts. But yeah, this Orcish Followers part recently, well, not so recently, but when bolts got reworked a couple of versions ago, when Frost Hearts and Thunderhooks were introduced, mobs also changed, and now there's bands with orc knights and warlords in bolts. So you get a pretty good chance of amassing a crazy amount of knight and warlord allies by going through bolts as a Beogh worshipper. I haven't done it since, so I'm looking forward to try it. I might play it today or tomorrow on stream. Um, as of the time this is on YouTube. So you can think about checking out the stream if you want to. If you don't, it's completely fine. It's probably gonna make it to YouTube if it's worth it. If it's worth your time, yeah. Anyway, you can recall your Orcish followers. Oh, wait, before I talk about this, let me just talk a little bit more about gaining Orcish followers. You can, or they can gain levels if they kill stuff. They also share your experience. Well, they don't really share it because you don't lose experience. But they can see you kill things and they can level up like that. I think that they get more experience if they actually contribute to attacking the thing. Um, but yeah, the way that experience works in Crawl is very weird, and it's not really worth explaining. Just like play like normal, and you shouldn't really notice that you're any weaker compared to a character that doesn't have any allies. Just so it really doesn't matter. But they gain levels and experience as long as they're following you, because you can park them in a different level, and then you can recall them, which I'll talk about in a bit. You can recall them, and then you can just have a million orcs appear out of nowhere to attack whatever you want to kill. But if you haven't been training them, they might be like the normal orcs, which are not much better than butterflies. So yeah, do think about that. Yeah, that's Orcish followers, recall. That's the main use of recall. You can use recall to move dudes around, to have them um, be closer to you if you're far away in the same level. Or the Beogh recall. Well, this is pretty much the only recall that exists in the game. But well, there's also the Heb recall. But the Beogh recall lets you recall through levels. So you can park guys in a different level, as I already mentioned, or you can just use it when they're in the same level to have them all be next to you, so you can go down the stairs with them, or do the opposite. Recall when they're far away from the stairs and tell them to wait there so you don't bring them into, I don't know, Bolts 5 or Sot 5 or whatever death trap you might be walking into. So yeah, you can walk on water. This is most, more than anything, this is kind of flavor text, though it can fulfill a certain utility role. Um, However, it can be kind of dangerous to be walking on water because if you accidentally get penance with Beogh, you will lose that ability, and then you will be standing on water. Um, while not being able to, do that. So if you have never done that in crawl, which is very understandable because it's a rather difficult thing to achieve with how nice crawl is regarding that kind of thing nowadays, walking or like being on water in deep water without being able to fly or walk or swim through it will very quickly drain you very drastically. Um, it's not going to instantly kill you because crawl doesn't have instant death like that anymore. It used to once upon a time, but it doesn't since a very long time ago. But yeah, it is in general something that you really don't want to do. Um, so yeah, don't be on water if you don't have the ability to be on water. This is an ability to be on water, of course. The game also makes it difficult for you to lose this because the game will warn you, hey, are you sure you want to do that you're trying to do? Because it could hurt an orc and you're standing on deep water and that's bad. So you don't have to worry too much about this. Crawl is not NetHack. Crawl is not gonna just randomly stab you in the back when you lose concentration for just a little bit. Or well, it will, but it will make it feel that it's more fair when Crawl does it. Which, yeah, it is definitely more fair than in NetHack. Um, you can give items to your followers. This is a pretty useful ability because throughout the course of a game, you're gonna find some garbage that's not gonna be good for your character. But you would say, oh yeah, if my character was this, it would be an amazing item. Like I don't know, a triple crossbow of speed or whatever, or a very good polearm with resistances or something along those lines. You can give those items to your followers. You can only give one item per follower. The follower has to have a name. Followers gain names when they gain notoriety in your army of orcs. That happens automatically. You don't have to name them. The game does it for you. And when the orc gains a name, you can give them whatever you want to give them, and it can make an otherwise lackluster orc into an absolute tank or killing machine. Unfortunately, you can only give one item because if you could give multiples, it would be pretty easy to give gold scales or stuff like that to your orcs, or ponder plate, like plate of ponderousness, which is usually super highly enchanted, and a crossbow or a polearm of a deech, stuff like that. Um, so you gotta kinda figure out which is the best item to give to your named orcs. If your orc already has plate or something like that, you might as well give the orc a good weapon. And if it has a battle axe or something like that, or an arbalest, because there's orcs with arbalests, then of course give them some better armor to try to keep them alive for longer. And last but not least, you can revive fallen orcs. This includes not only your followers, this also includes enemy orcs. For example, usually Saint Roca is too high of a level for you to be able to acquire Saint Roca as a follower just by stepping into Saint Roca's line of sight. Um, and Saint Roca also has a difficult time converting when about to die, because that's also something that orcs can do. If you're about to kill them, if you hit them and you leave them really, really injured but not dead, they have a chance of saying, okay, okay, I believe you, and then they convert to your cost, and you have them as allies. With Saint Roca, it's difficult to do either of those things because Saint Roca is the highest level orc in the game. So, the most common way to acquire Saint Roca as an ally is to kill Saint Roca, and then if Saint Roca drops a corpse, you can revive the corpse, and any orc that you revive doing this will be your ally. It's 100% chance. Of course, for that to happen, the orc needs to drop a corpse, which is not guaranteed, so yeah. Um, this is a really expensive ability. It's super expensive. You're not meant to spam this. This is only reserved for the truly great orcs that have crazy good gear and crazy good, I don't know, like warlords with a ton of HP. Because Beogh orcs do not stop leveling up. Like when you search for a warlord in game, it's gonna tell you that it has like 100 and something HP. Beogh orcs get much higher HP than that. So yeah, if you've had the warlord for quite a while and then it dies for one reason or another, it might be worth it to invest a lot of piety to revive it. Especially if you have had 6 pips of piety and you haven't been running around smiting everything, you're probably gonna have a lot of piety. You're probably gonna be close to the max, to the cap of piety. It is worth it to revive stuff in that situation. Or if it's an orc that's like really cool, and you've had it from the beginning, and you want to revive it, you can also do that. At the end of the day, it is a day. You don't have to play optimally. You can just do whatever you want to do. That's the beauty of Crawl. So yeah, that's the powers of Beogh. As you can see here, followers of Beogh can smite, will even gain orcish followers, who may be blessed by Beogh in battle and can be recalled as needed. Oh, this thing is actually kind of important, and the powers do not mention it. Sometimes when you kill stuff, and if Beogh accepts your kill, Beogh will buff your dudes, or will heal them from poison, or just give them a bit more HP. But yeah, Beogh can give them gear. It's not very common, but Beogh can give orcs arbalests or better weapons or better armor. I don't remember seeing Beogh give something crazy like crystal plate, but I wouldn't discard it. It's just that I don't remember it has happened. I do remember that Beogh has given dudes blade and stuff. Superior armament, it says. So yeah. Eventually, followers will gain the power to walk on water. Beogh will sometimes directly intervene to save a follower's life, and the chosen of Beogh will eventually be able to resurrect other fallen orcs. Beogh will sometimes directly intervene to save a follower's life. I don't know if this refers to Beogh applying healing salves on an orc, which, yeah, is the thing that I just talked about, where Beogh heals one of your orcs. I don't know if Beogh can life save you the same way that good gods do. Um, I don't know. At the very least, it has never happened to me, but I've seen Beogh save orcs by doing that, so it's probably referring to that. The chosen of Beogh will eventually be able to resurrect other fallen orcs. Yeah, the ability to revive things, you get it at very high piety. It's not something that you have from the very beginning of the game, of course, since it costs so much piety. The way to gain piety with Beogh is very simple. You just kill stuff, literally. Beogh especially likes it when you kill the priests of other religions. This means pretty much angels, death knights, because death knights worship Jerederum Nul. Struggling to remember some priests, but I think Deep Drop shamans are priests. Definitely Deep of priests, high priests. I don't think the Deepo priests exist anymore. Yeah, Deepo high priests. Um, yeah, there's quite a few monsters that are zealots of other religions. Um, Even some uniques. For example, Asterion is a very notorious worshipper of Maclef. Mlioglotl is a worshipper of Lugonu, etc., etc. Yeah. So you get a bit of extra piety whenever you kill monsters like that. It shouldn't really matter that much, but it is a nice little thing that it kind of mimics the Trog ability to give more or to get more piety whenever you kill mages. Yeah, it's similar to that. So yeah, the Wrath. The Wrath is, in general, the Wrath of many gods is the least relevant part of the god because you're not really meant to abandon gods. Like, don't do it. Just in general, don't do it. Not even if you're going for 15 runes. I think that the old strategy of going Okawaru and abandoning Okawaru for the Shining One in a 15 rune run, it's kind of obsolete in my opinion. To begin with, I don't really do that many 15 rune runs nowadays. But even when I do, if I am a mage, yeah, I don't take melee characters to extended, so I wouldn't be a worshipper of Okawaru. But if I wanted the Shining One, I would go the Shining One from the very beginning. But I'll talk about the Shining One when the Shining One's time comes. Beogh strongly dislikes it when you attack allied orcs or you desecrate orcish remains. Um, yeah, I think that Beogh will get pretty mad at you if you cast something like Simulacrum. Um, the desecrating orcish remains part is kind of a relic of the past. Um, but yeah, the way that it used to work is that if you were to chop a corpse of an orc, Beogh would get really, really mad. Um, yeah, strongly dislikes it means that you're gonna get a lot of penance on the god. Beogh does not appreciate abandonment and will call down fearful punishment on disloyal followers. Yeah, pretty much every god says this. Most of them, there's a couple of them that don't do anything, but most of them do. Blasphemers against the word of Beogh find themselves assaulted by waves of orcish warriors or by dancing electric weapons. Pretty scary, dancing electric weapons. Beogh may also simply smite such blasphemers, and when smiting true sinners, Beogh has a heavy hand indeed. Yeah, Beogh can't smite you. It hurts. The smite of Beogh is kinda like your smite when you're a worshipper of Beogh. It is not the smite of the Orc Priest. It deals quite a lot of damage. Those who still worship Beogh will also find their followers regularly deserting them. Yeah, so if you have penance with Beogh, your followers will spontaneously go away. Um, not go away in the sense that they will disappear. They will become hostile towards you. Um, do not annoy Beogh and do not abandon Beogh because it's not a good idea. Um, Obviously, when you abandon Beogh, if you were to abandon Beogh, your dudes will all pretty much immediately turn on you. Um, so yeah, it's not a good idea. To abandon Beogh, I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't recommend abandoning any god unless it's specifically Ignis, or unless it's a super weird case. Like, for example, there was this one occasion where I was a worshiper of the Shining One in a gauntlet, and I didn't have a way to get past the Minotaur because I wasn't able to kill it, and I wasn't able to, sneak past it because the Shining One. So what I did was abandon the Shining One to lose the Halo, get out of the gauntlet, and then go and worship the Shining One again. Um, but that's a very weird scenario that's not representative of normal gameplay. Specifically with the Shining One, you can do that kind of thing because the Shining One won't get mad at you for abandoning. Most gods will get mad at you for abandoning them, and most god rats usually kill you. The game is already hard enough as it is. You don't need to walk around with not only no god or no piety on your newly acquired god, but also with another god actively trying to kill you. Yeah, it's pretty bad. Don't abandon. Um, yeah, that's Beogh. I hope that you enjoyed this. I had a good time recording this. Sorry for taking so long between updates. There was some stuff, but I got it fixed. So I will be uploading a couple of these this week, and then it's gonna go to the once a week schedule that I wanted to have. Thank you for watching. Have a nice rest of your day, and yeah, thank you for your continued support. And thank you to my supporters on Patreon, Anthony Emergence, Blink and Die, Dulos Ball, Inon, Grapophilia, and Fede. I appreciate you all for your very generous contributions. I hope you get what you want to get from your contributions, and I will continue to do this because of your contributions. Thank you for all.